Is the US dollar the next Terra Luna? I know that might sound absolutely crazy right now, but in this video, we go into some very compelling evidence of why that might be true. The US dollar is no longer going to be the world reserve currency. Multiple countries by now have shown publicly that they no longer want to bilaterally trade with the US dollar for things like energy and oil and natural gas. This video is really important. You guys have to watch this. It's the same idea everyone's talking about with Binance. Don't be silly. Don't keep your net worth in an asset that could literally be gone like that. You just have to be smart. In this video, I'm going to show you why that's happening and tell you how to protect your purchasing power and your wealth in these really strange times ahead. Guys, do me a favor, like the video because I'm bringing information to you that's going to protect you, your family, your wealth. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm going to be bringing videos like this all year long. And I'm back. Like, I've been gone for a while, but I'm back because this is really important. This is things that I care about. We here at Master Ventures, we are looking at how to protect our treasury, our net worth. And we have had our treasury in US dollars in stablecoin for a long time. And now we're really trying to understand what's going on. And so we have research and we're trying to figure out, is our treasury, which affects all of us, our employees, do we keep that in a US dollar backed stablecoin? And I don't feel confident in that anymore. And here is why. 7 months ago, I made a video predicting this. The end of the US dollar is coming. I even called the timeline for you guys. I even said 6 to 18 months, which is exactly the time span. 6 months is now. And in the next 12 months, surely this is going to happen. Why? Because we see countries like France, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, China, and Russia all in the past couple of weeks talking about how they're no longer going to be using US dollar to trade oil and energy and using their local currencies, the yuan, the Russian ruble, and not the dollars anymore. Hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars a year of value of them no longer needing the US dollar. That is demand. We're talking about less demand. And this is just the past 2 weeks. And what do you think is going to happen when the US has to start printing more dollars to cover debt? We have a lot of economic things happening. The commercial real estate crisis, right? 30-40% of the commercial buildings in America are vacant. They can no longer pay their mortgages. Those banks are going to be in a lot of pain. We know that the government will protect the banks because they can't let them fail. That would be catastrophic for the entire United States. I'm not talking about depositors' money. That is uncertain. But the banks themselves have a lot of debt. They have a lot of loans out on commercial real estate, and they cannot service that debt. So what's going to happen? They're going to go bankrupt unless bailouts come into play. And how do you think bailouts get money to pay out? That's printing money. So everybody's observing, everybody watches this right now and realizes the state of panic and other countries literally dumping their reserves of US dollars to change for something that they feel have more trust in. Other currencies, the RMB or gold, Bitcoin. But what do you think is happening with every other country watching these other countries throw up their hands saying, that's it, no more dollar? That's just the start of the dominoes, the start of the snowball. As more countries start to announce that they're not using, this is crazy that we're watching this. We're living in really crazy times. Every single one of you, probably, including myself at some point long ago. I mean, I have to say, for a long time, I haven't felt this way, but at one point I did, that there's no way the US can go down. It's too big to fail. But we're literally watching it in front of our eyes right now happening. So what do? You need to be in assets that the world values, that is scarce, that cannot be debased, that cannot be inflated, that cannot be confiscated, right? And these are things like gold and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a better version of gold. Bitcoin is mathematically scarce. We know how much supply there is. Unlike gold, I've said this before, like literally an asteroid could come in, technologies get better, we can start mining asteroids, but we could also find a huge gold deposit on Earth that increases the amount of gold on Earth. We don't know, right? But we do know the scarcity of Bitcoin. So I want to get into this real quickly because it's important that everyone understands that there is the debasing of the US dollar, and Balaji's bet, which I'm talking about a lot, it could likely come true. And Bitcoin could go to $1 million US. But like I talked about in my last video, does that mean that you're going to be able to go out and buy 4 Lamborghinis with 1 Bitcoin? No, that doesn't mean that the purchasing power is going to increase alone from the US dollar debasing. What has to happen at the same time is people have to flee and exit the US dollar and buy Bitcoin to increase demand, right? So if the US dollar hyperinflated today and nobody else bought Bitcoin, purchasing power would stay the same, even though it's worth $1 million US. What needs to happen is that the demand needs to increase for Bitcoin. But I believe that we're there. I believe that people are aware. You've got people like BlackRock and Fidelity, the largest money managers in the world. Shit, even the US government has over 200,000 Bitcoin that they're just hodling. Let that sink in for a second. So people know, they're not stupid, right? And all of you guys watching this aren't stupid either. So what does this all mean for you? Like, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we have a lot of evidence preparing us for things that could happen, and why risk it, right? There are other alternatives. And I know that it might be hard because historically the US dollar has always been a safe haven, but it doesn't look like that anymore. And I don't know if this is going to happen in rapid succession. I would say that we need to be really cautious and pay attention. You know, with France just announcing what it did, what happens if tomorrow Germany does it? And then 4 days later, Spain does it. And then 4 days after that, South Africa does it. That will create a death spiral. That is what I want to talk to you guys about today. As I've told you before, right now, I am currently out of stable coins, out of the US dollar. I'm all in real estate a little bit, but mostly crypto, with a large majority in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins that I love. And we will be following this closely. And I'll be watching this. Something could happen, right? The US could pull a trick out of their butt. Like, who knows? Historically, they have done things before. They, back in the day, you wouldn't have guessed that they would have gone off the gold standard, or, they have these tricks, but it does seem like they're running out of them. And so right now, all we can do is look at the evidence and try to make the best path forward to at least preserve your purchasing power. At best case, you capitalize on the situation. And I do believe that because of Bitcoin's mechanics, it will become a world reserve currency. And so that is where I'm placing the majority of my bets. Let me know in the comments below what you're doing. What do you think about this video? Am I off completely? Or do you think I'm onto something? Remember, 7 months ago, I called this scenario, and do go back and watch that video. Let me know what you think. Guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.